Escape excessive consumerism and save money now. Today we'll be reviewing the article by Forbes magazine entitled Reasons to Escape Excessive Consumerism and How to Do It by Joshua Becker. Anyone who knows me knows I'm trying to live a minimalistic life, says Joshua Becker. But that doesn't mean that I don't own stuff. My family of 4 still owns 3 beds, 1 couch, 2 recliners, a table with 8 chairs, a desk, plates, bowls, glasses, coats, and my kids use books, toys, and sporting goods. I read, I play sports. Sounds like a normal guy here. Consumerism becomes excessive when it extends beyond what is needed. Our consumption culture makes greedy accumulation appear natural, normal. And ever-growing home sizes and storage units remove normal physical boundaries. My wife has a storage unit. We have a lot of stuff. We need an extra storage unit because we can't fit it in our home. Do we really need all this stuff? Well, let's take a look. Excessive consumption leads to bigger houses, more expensive cars, trendier clothes, fancier technology, and overfilled drawers. It promises happiness, but it never delivers happiness. It only results in a desire for still more. If we're continually consuming, we're just spending more and more money to buy things that we don't even have enough time to use sometimes. It is time to escape the vicious effects of our own unnecessary acquisition. And here are the 10 reasons why. Number 1, of course, is less debt. Just under half of Americans are unable to pay off their monthly credit card balance. On average, the monthly balance carried forward is $6,929 per household, totaling $420 billion in consumer debt. And think about all that interest that you're paying on those credit cards to buy things that you may not even be able to use. Just think of all that interest. You're losing money on anything you buy with a credit card that you don't pay off immediately at the end of the month. Number 2, 10 reasons why we should consume less. Less time caring for our possessions. The never-ending time needed to care for the things we own drains our time and energy as well. Whether we're maintaining property, vehicles, replacing goods, or cleaning things, you're constantly taking care of the possessions you own. If you own multiple cars, that means you have to take care of multiple cars. If you own a boat, that means you have to take care of a boat. Surely our lives are too valuable to waste time in caring for excess possessions. Television and the internet have brought lifestyle envy into our lives at a level never before seen in history. Prior to the event of the digital age, we were left envying the Joneses living next to us, but at least we had a few things in common with them. We lived in the same neighborhood. But today, with media on Instagram especially, and other social media, we've envied lifestyles well beyond our incomes. If a billionaire starts posting on Instagram, we can now see that. Before, maybe we weren't inside the billionaire's gated community. But now with social media, we can get inside and get a look at what that looks like, and that makes us envious. We want that now. We didn't see it before. If we didn't see it, we didn't want it. But now that we see it, we become even greedier and want even more. Number 4, less environmental impact. Our Earth produces enough resources to meet all of our needs, but it doesn't produce enough resources to meet all of our wants. Number 5, keep up with the evolving trends. Henry David Thoreau said, "Every generation laughs at the old fashions, but religiously follows the new fashions." The styles that we thought were so new and trendy now will probably be laughed at in 10 or 20 years. So do we really need that new trendy style? Every year or even every season, a new line of fashion is released, a must-have trend, and the only way to keep up is to keep purchasing. Social scientists have coined the phrase conspicuous consumption to describe the lavish spending on goods and services acquired mainly for the purpose of displaying income or wealth. Sometimes the things you're buying are just to prove that you are valuable in the eyes of others because, hey, you have this and they don't. When we begin to reject spending on ourselves, our hearts are open to the joy and fulfillment found in giving to others. And I've discussed this in other podcasts. We get more fulfillment when we give to others than we give to ourselves. And that is 100% true, whether you believe it or not. Let's follow up on that. Number 8, more contentment. Many people believe if they find or achieve contentment in their lives, their desire for excessive consumption will wane. But I've found the opposite is true. I found that the intentional rejection of excessive consumption opens the door for contentment to take root. So it's not what you originally thought. You think that you can buy your way to happiness? No. Happiness comes from being content with what you have, content with where you are. As long as you have the necessities, as long as you have a roof over your head, a way to get around to do things, transportation, and food to eat, you're okay. All the other extra stuff doesn't really matter. The author says, when I began pursuing minimalism and started intentionally owning less, I discovered greater contentment than ever before. There was a time in my life when I was living a very, very simple life. I was living on a boat. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have car payments. I didn't have car insurance. I was living one of the most basic lives you can ever live. I was making a little bit of money working part-time so I could feed myself. I had a place to sleep. I had food to eat, and I was very content. I was probably the most content I've ever been in my life. I really enjoyed my life. My life was so simple. I was very content. We all know that more things won't make us happier. It's just that we've bought into the message of millions upon millions of advertisements that have told us otherwise. Social media, television, it bombards us. Buy this and you'll be happy. Take this and you'll be happy. Get this new sports car and you'll be happy. But none of that is true, because true happiness comes from fulfillment in your life. Feeling like you're important, feeling like you're doing something positive with your life. And that has nothing to do with the possessions you have. Nothing at all. Possessions will not make you happy. More and more possessions will only make you want more and more possessions. True satisfaction doesn't come from what you have. It comes from what you give from your heart. That is true fulfillment. Number 10. Greater realizations that this world is not just a material world. True life is found in the invisible things of life: love, hope, and faith. We know that this world is more important than what we own. But if one were to research our actions, intentions, and receipts, would we reach the same conclusion? Or have we been too busy trying to buy happiness? Have you been spending lots of money thinking that it would bring you happiness? Have you been getting a fancier car, a bigger home, thinking that you would feel more contentment, and it just doesn't work? Consumerism wants you to spend money, but spending money does not necessarily bring happiness. Happiness comes from the heart. It comes from feeling like your life is important. You're doing something to positively contribute to the world around you. You're being a part of the solution rather than a part of the problem. And I have to say that my feeling is that overconsumption is part of the problem. It's wrecking our environment, it's wrecking our planet, and it's wrecking our lives. It's time to pull back. We don't need so much. Please give the podcast a thumbs up if you like the podcast today. We are switching to a schedule of Monday and Thursdays, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Shine 365.